dad made us a home version of the whitest sport ever. Golf. Frisbee golf.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So I did stand-up comedy for a year, and these are the 5 biggest lessons that I learned. So if you like stand-up or the process of getting better at something, this video is for you. Number 1, when you ask comics for advice, they'll always tell you the same thing. You just need to get up on stage more. And that's true, but what I wish I would have known is that you need to learn laughter triggers. Laughter isn't random. It's actually a science. Now, I don't have time to give you a full breakdown of all of them, but just to name a few, there's misdirection, incongruity, compare, contrast. It wasn't until I learned laughter triggers that it really helped my joke writing on stage, because now I finally know what gets a laugh, instead of just stumbling into it.
Hello, Portland. So growing up, my grandma moved in with us, and when I became a teenager, we got along great. She hit me right away with her famous backhanded compliment. She goes, "My, you've become quite handsome." I haven't always? You were an ugly child.
I thought my jokes were bad.
So now, after I write every joke, I always ask myself, what's the laughter trigger here? And if I can't identify one, I make sure to add it in. Please, spare yourself and study the laughter triggers.
Okay.
By the way, if you want a resource for this, check out Jerry Corley. Number 2, write jokes from a premise, not a topic.
Brother, this guy stinks!
A premise is like a setup for your jokes. And premises unify the jokes, but topics create random ones. For example, when I first started getting up, I tried to do a bit about growing up in the country, but it wasn't really hitting like I wanted it to, and because it was like a combination of a bunch of random jokes about growing up in the country, and it was too much information for the audience to process, so I would lose them.
Things are gonna get crazy!
But I started to do a lot better when I identified the through line to that bit, which was, the country is dangerous.
What?
And once I realized that, I got a lot better results, because a premise gives the audience a clear lens to process all the information that you're giving them. And if all of your jokes stem from the same place, and what you're gonna see is you'll build a lot more momentum and a lot more laughter because you're giving the audience a lot less to process. So the clearer the premise, the easier your set is to follow. Alright, number 3. Delivery matters just as much as your jokes. In fact, it might matter more than your jokes. One open mic, I got off stage, and I had this random rush of courage to ask the host for feedback.
Somebody stop me!
And he gave me feedback. He said, you don't really seem real up there. And I was like, oh, really? How come? He said, well, you're going too fast. It seems like you're reciting the jokes rather than performing them. And he was totally right. I was coming off as robotic because I wasn't practicing how to deliver my jokes. When I would rehearse, I would just make sure I had the jokes memorized. But after that, I started to make sure I had the jokes memorized, but then go back through and practice again with slowing way down. And then I would practice again and identify the proper emotion that fit with the joke so that I could then act it out and not just sound like I'm rehearsing a script. So when I was able to slow down and inject emotion into my jokes, it made me come off as much more authentic and confident. And I found that filming my sets and asking others for feedback helped a ton with this. All right, number 4, fall in love with the process. Here's the thing. Stand-up takes a ton of time, just like anything that you want to get good at. But this is huge. If you don't fall in love with the process, you will not make it as a stand-up comedian. Because most of your time is going to be spent in the process. Even though I'm doing stand-up comedy, only about a few minutes of the week was I actually doing stand-up comedy. Most of it was spent behind the scenes, getting ready for the stand-up comedy. And it's exhausting. But to be honest, I just love writing jokes. And that's what keeps me doing this. It's the favorite part of my day. Getting up on stage, to be honest, that can go either way.
Huh?
Oftentimes, it's not even my favorite part, but I do it because I love writing jokes. And of course, when a joke does work, it's like the best feeling in the world.
I don't want to end up like Grandma. Although I do look great in those juicy shorts.
So what is that for you? What is the part of the process that you love? And really lean into that. If you don't fall in love with the process, what are you even doing this for in the first place? Number 5, mindset is everything. Did you know that the industry truth is that 90% of your jokes will fail? To be honest, I'm surprised it's that low.
Just stop! What? We were all out of duct tape. But their doormat still says welcome.
Stinks!
When I first started doing this, bombing would ruin my week.
Emotional damage.
Okay, I would be in the shower crying in the fetal position because I just couldn't handle, oh, I shouldn't have ever said that. They're probably still thinking of me. They're not, but that's how it felt. Week 43 to 45, to where I had this key mindset shift. And you can know this going in, right? You can know, oh yeah, mindset's everything, but have you taken the time to just tell yourself, hey, I am gonna fail a lot. And if I do fail, if I do bomb, because you're gonna bomb, it's not a reflection on my worth or my talent. It's just a reflection on those jokes you chose to tell. What I started to notice was any new bit I went up with, I found on average about 2 to 3 jokes out of 3 to 4 minute set would work for me. When I started going up with that expectation, I stopped worrying about the results and feeling bad when most of my jokes didn't work because I knew that ahead of time. And when you tell yourself that ahead of time, you can't lose. And then for the jokes that didn't work, I recommend 3 things. Do you need to rewrite that joke? Or do you need to save it for later because you can't crack the code right now? Or do you just need to cut it? Because there are jokes that just aren't worth it. And I'm a big believer in saving it for later, but sometimes that's the truth. I didn't end my 1 year of stand-up with the perfect set. I'm not now an expert on stand-up comedy, but I'm way more confident than I've ever been with it. I love the process, and I'm gonna keep doing it because I can't get enough. And I feel like while I still have so much to learn, I understand the process way better than I did a year ago.
Okay, keep it going for your host, everyone. Olivia, you've been great.
Thank you for listening. That's gonna do it for my 5 biggest lessons learned from 1 year of doing stand-up comedy. With that, if you like stand-up comedy or you just want to see me bomb, you sick freaks, go ahead and hit those like, comment, and subscribe buttons. Toodles!